Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I want to also thank Michaels for having us back again. I'm Dondi from FloraCraft. We also have Jamie with us on chat to answer any questions that you guys might have. A little bit about FloraCraft. It's a family-owned company, been in the foam business for 70 plus years. Recently, we began making our own foam from recycled plastic. So it's kind of a feel-good foam now, right? I mean, it's better for the earth. What we do is we take coat hangers that are in the retail market that get tossed out, and we recycle them back into our foam. So less in the landfill and more earth-friendly product. So today we're using our white CraftFōM. It also comes in green. White just because you can make it any color that you want it, and green because it blends nicely with greenery and florals for floral use. So this is the craft we're making today. It's it's the Peppermint Lane wreath. I'll show you some of the materials we'll be using. So I found this really pretty glittery poinsettia. Just need one of those. I found these really fun like spiral glittery balls. It's just one stem of these. I also found, because why not, some sequin balls. Just one stem of those. And this great big peppermint stick. We're gonna not use the stem, but just one of those. I found these really fun, almost feathery, glittery picks. There's 3 of those. And then this white, just looks like a snowy, frosty pine branch. Just one of those, we'll cut it apart. And 3 of these candy canes, glittery candy cane picks. And this really cool Mohair sweater ribbon. It's really pretty, really heavy. And then some tools we're gonna use, they're called greening pins, S pins, U pins, lots of different names for them, but we'll be using those today to attach stuff. And wire cutters, scissors for the ribbon, and then a piece of tie wire. And this is optional. You can really put that little ribbon tail on with a pin, but if you want to use cloth covered wire, that's good too. And you'll need a low temp glue gun. Low temp because high temp glue guns will melt the foam. All right, we can get started if we want to go from our overhead view. So the first thing I did is take our ribbon. We're just gonna lay it right around the outside edge and then cut it where it overlaps just slightly.
Anybody have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll answer them as we go.
So we're just going to add a little glue in between. And I'm also going to stick a pin right down here low so that it's going to take a minute. This is really heavy. But if you wiggle, see how I'm wiggling it back and forth, that kind of separates the fibers in the ribbon and lets that pin sneak through there. So you'll see on the tips of your edges of your ribbon, there's that little wire that's in there. So what you want to do is pull that wire on that side and on that side and pull it right out so you can get a hold of it. And we're literally going to see how it's doing that. It's tightening right around that wreath.
Gabby, what size wreath are you using for this project?
We are using FloraCraft's 18-inch ring. I'm sorry, yeah, FloraCraft's 18-inch wreath. So then when you get that all tightened, that wire will pull that right tight around. And the reason I did this is, to me, it kind of looked like a big peppermint. And then just to remind you guys, this is being recorded too. So if at any time you get behind or you miss something, just know that 24 hours, it'll be up on Michael's site. So that's all you do to get your frame or to get your wreath ready for your florals. And then snip this off. So on some of these picks, the stem itself is just way too hard to clip with a pair of nippers. So what I do with these great big stems that I can't cut is just bend them out of your way. And when I do a wreath, I like to start with my focal flower and kind of build around it. It's just what I do. So if you lay, I don't know if you can see right there. So if you lay that stem right inside the wreath like that, and then you'll just take, I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it. Just take and put your pins in and hold it in place. And then to make sure that those pins are gonna stay in there for you, I would just add some glue right up under that pin, in between the pin and the stem. That'll keep it right in there for you. All right, so there's our focal flower, front and center. So next, oh, shoot, my pin come undone. So next, to be able to make sure that this big peppermint is gonna fit in there, I went ahead and popped him in next. So you have another big sturdy stem that's just not, it's just too hard to cut. We don't really need it. So all I did was just start twisting. It's gonna pop that stem right out of there for you. Nice and clean. And this guy is gonna live right there behind the flower. If you want to put it on the opposite side and go the opposite way, if that's just better for you, then by all means, you can put it on the other side. So to do this, right here where the foam is bare is where I put my glue, because it'll just hold nicer against the foam than it will against the ribbon. We're just gonna lay that right in place.
Gandhi, what type of glue are you using again?
We are using a low temp glue gun. Low temp because high temp can melt the foam. And especially now this little disc is made out of what they call EPS foam. It's little, you can see all those little beads of foam on there? That's what it's made of. And they melt even faster than our FloraCraft or our CraftFōM. So now just to reinforce this in here, I'm just kind of taking a pin and going in at an angle and just to secure it in more, just to make sure it doesn't fly off of there. And you can put a few of them in. I'm just putting them in at an angle right into the foam. All right. So next, we have our 3 spiral glittery balls, and we don't need this whole big stem either. So we're just going to cut off right where they attach to the main stem.
Were these found in the seasonal department or in the floral department?
I found all these items in the seasonal department at Michael's. All right, so we're gonna have one live right back here, kind of next to the peppermint candy and behind the flower. And anytime that I didn't glue that one in, but when you do glue them in, just make sure you add a little glue on the end before you insert it, and that's gonna just hold it in that foam nice for you. So we're gonna make like a little triangle with these 3 balls. A little glue.
Do you have to glue them in, or will they just stay in the foam?
They will stay if they're not moved around. If it's not a chance where it's on a door and it's going to keep opening and closing and moving the wreath around, they could loosen. Our new foam is more dense, which makes it stronger, and it does hold stems a little stronger. But to be safe, I would definitely glue them in. The other thing is some stems are like a smooth plastic, so they don't have any texture to help hold, and they slide out real easy too. So we have our focal, we have our big candy piece, and we have our 3 kind of in a triangle ball so far. So next, we're gonna put in our candy canes. So I kind of liked them kind of angling out from the focal flower, and that's kind of the angle. Instead of having this wreath be all perfectly round and have everything tight circle, a symmetrical circle, I just wanted to show that you can kind of fall off the wreath and make it kind of fun and kind of make it your own by just making a line across the front. So we'll put one up a little higher. And I'm not gluing these, but I should be, because see how that turned? These have a real slippery, just a painted wire, and that's why it's not holding. It just doesn't have any texture.
So Felicia was able to find some of the links to some of the supplies that you're using on michaels.com, and she has those in the chat for you if you want to find the same supplies that Dondi's using.
Perfect. Thank you, Felicia.
Looks like we have viewers from all over the US today, from Pennsylvania, Virginia, Florida, New York, California.
Wow.
California sounds nice and warm compared to where we are.
It probably is. You're probably right. So that's about how I have the other one. You can see the three, sorry about that. The three candy canes are kind of angled off this way. So we're gonna follow that. We'll add maybe a little, and these are all wired too, so you can make them do whatever you want. And this is a little long, but it's not as hard of a stem, so it is cuttable. And again, whenever you put something in, you want to add a little glue. We're gonna park this guy right behind these, and I am pushing it right into the foam, kind of at an angle. It's gonna hold it in there nice. And just let these guys go however they want. Let's see, we'll put another little bunch over here, and that's gonna make our line like I was telling you. We're not gonna need this whole stem.
Oh, wow, we have somebody actually from Ludington. Doris. Hi, Doris.
Hi, Doris from Ludington.
Ludington, Michigan is where our headquarters are. It looks like Doris is just a mile from us.
So on this one, I'm having a hard time pushing it in at an angle and getting it the way that I want it. So if that happens, if you want it like almost straight in, just take the stem and bend it at like a 90-degree angle, like that. Just bend it down, and you can push it, put it in there wherever you want, and insert it that way. These might be a little more than, that's okay. It's okay if it's different, right? What else do we want? I think we'll save that for the top. All right, this guy. Oh, another thing I want to mention too is while you guys are crafting, don't forget to take a picture and send it so we can see. You can send it to hashtag Made with Michaels or hashtag FloraCraft. And we would love to see what you've done. All I'm doing is cutting this apart in just little groups that I'll poke in here and there. Just kind of figure out what you want. I think I'll take this guy off. And maybe not. And that looks like a good one too. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 little pieces out of that white stem. And this one, oh, I didn't add glue. Add a little white over there. And really, I mean, like I liked the look of this white showing, just kind of adding to the design because it's red and white, and why not let it show? It's kind of sparkly and kind of fun. If you wanted to, I guess you could take this ribbon and do it over the face of the ring, so it's all the way covered. If you didn't like to leave it raw like that, Another thing I was thinking for this part too, you could add like a sparkly glitter, like a crystallina glitter would be really pretty. It would kind of give you a little more shine up there if you didn't want to leave the foam raw. That would be another option. Or you could even take another color ribbon and cover so it was two-tone. Just some other ideas. So this one I'm going to take too. I'm going to bend it like at a 90-degree angle. And then you can come right in where the foam is bare and just push it right down into there. And you can see this one is quite a bit, look at that, that fell right out. Quite a bit different than the first one I did. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be the same. I know I didn't glue that one in either, but have him come out.
Dondi, what other theme ideas do you have in case some of these materials are out of stock? They look like they would be very popular.
Well, I tell you, I think if you get a chance to walk through Michael's and just, I mean, the reason that this wreath has so much on it is because I couldn't stop. I found so much stuff. I mean, there's more over there on the table actually that I didn't put on this wreath. All right. Also, so does anybody have any questions about foam in general? Because, you know, I've been working with FloraCraft for like 24 years, so I'm kind of a good person to ask.
Yes, you are. Oh, just so you know, you can't see the top of your wreath too. So when you get to that part, you'll have to.
Yep, I'll have to pull it down a little for you. So this is the next one we're going to cut apart and use. We have this top piece we can use. And this is a little stiffer. This one I use squeeze it with the clippers and then bend it back and forth. And that usually snaps it off pretty good for you.
Are those individual branches or are you just cutting pieces?
I cut the top piece right off. So it was like that. And I just cut that little top piece off. And then these, I'm cutting off just the individual stems.
So you're making your own individual picks?
Pretty much, yep. All right, so where do we need a little sparkle?
A little more sparkle.
You know.
You always need more sparkle.
Because why not? Not adding glue. Has anyone started decorating for Christmas yet?
Not us, not yet. Although this is very inspiring.
So this one is not long enough to reach to the foam, to stick into the foam. Whoopsie. And it's falling apart. Don't really know how that went in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it in place, which is which is fine. It's light enough, it'll hold. All right, add those. So for the top of the wreath, I thought, you know, it looks, with all this else going on, the top of it needed something. I didn't want to make a bow because I didn't want a big puffy thing up there, but I wanted a little something. So I kind of compromised. I just measured how long I wanted it to be, which is, I'd say, let's call that 6-8 inches. And just cut it off straight. And then I thought that this kind of looked like maybe like where the two ribbon pieces came together, and like this is maybe the tails of the ribbon. That was kind of my thought. So to make those nice little dovetails, you just fold your ribbon in half and cut from the cut end to the center. And that'll make that nice even dovetail for you.
Dottie, we have a foam question. Can foam be reused?
Sure. I guess that depends on what you're using it for. Like if you were, do you mean like to like take this wreath apart and use it again? Sure. Maybe. You might have to cover more of it, or I guess as long as you use the same where all the holes are in the foam and you're going to recover it up, then sure, I think so. So all I did with this little tails is I just gathered it in the center like that. And I just put a greening pin through it or around it so it straddles it like that. You see it? Yeah. And then I would add a little glue under there because you don't want it to come out. Oh, I need some. And you're just gonna pop it right there. However, I liked it to how the angle of the florals go. So I just kept it kind of at that same angle. And then I'm gonna steal some white from where I don't notice it. Back here maybe. We'll glue a little piece of white. Just to bring that color of the florals up top. And we'll find another piece that you're not going to miss from down here. A little more glue.
So a question was asked if this could be made on a larger size wreath form. And I think the 16-inch wreath is actually the largest one that Michaels carries. So I think this is a 16-inch wreath form. Is that right, Donnie?
I thought they had an 18-inch. But absolutely, it could go smaller, it could go larger. You just kind of adapt. Like if you were making this into a larger wreath, I would say space stuff out a little more, use a little more filler. But absolutely, if you shrunk it, you could maybe use half lengths of the stems. You wouldn't have to use as much. And you could use like half pieces if you were using a smaller wreath. So sure, it could be changed adapted to whatever you need it to do. I'm gonna steal another little piece of red, and this one I'm gonna cut in half, or maybe, yeah, about half, maybe a third. Just little pieces just to add in with this white up here, just to give a little sparkle up there too. Because you know there's not enough.
Oh, Willie just confirmed they do have an 18-inch, so perfect.
Good. Phew. So I didn't want to tell you this is an 18-inch wreath. Thank you, Willie. All right, so just add a little sparkle up there. And I have a little sprig of this left too. You can go ahead and add in up here just because it's fun. I think we'll go this way. And then
Donna, what size ribbon are you using?
This ribbon is 3.5 inches. It's 15 feet. It's wired. That's what makes us be able to use the, what do they call that? Gather around the wreath like that by gathering it on that little wire that it has. But it's, yeah, 3.5 inch.
And would you use that ribbon to hang the wreath?
I don't know why not. It actually would look pretty cool because the wreath is so big that, let me see what it does. And it probably would look really cool. Sorry about that long. Let's just see what it looks like. So if I was going to use this as a hanger, I would double it, maybe like a 12-inch piece, and double it so you can hook it. And then I would just glue it and pin it real secure, glue and pin it to the top. So it would be something like that. Is that what you were thinking?
I like that.
Kind of adds
a little. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it just adds a little something. What was the next question?
Would you recommend this wreath being hung outside, or do you think it's better to keep it inside?
The only thing would be if the ribbon got wet and stayed wet, there could be a chance of it getting like moldy, like maybe, I don't know. I don't think it would hurt it, damage it, other than just getting damp. But everything else on here is pretty sturdy. And of course the foam, our CraftFōM wreath is definitely okay for outside. So now I'm just kind of looking around and seeing where I might want to add another something here or there. Looks like a little hole in there I could fill in. And I'm just poking this right into that candy cane because it just stays right there where I want it. Looks like maybe down here we could add a little more fun. I'm just going to glue that on. I don't know, guys. I think we're, hey, how about up here?
Oh, you can't see it. It's off the camera. There you go.
Big one up there would be fun.
Donnie, can you show which glue gun you're using?
I can. CraftSmart, low temp. I do believe these are over by the floral department also. And they do have high temp. You have to look at the package and make sure it's low temp.
So Dondi, if they can't find like the balls that are on there or even the peppermint disc, do you have any tips on how to create those?
Absolutely. So you go get yourself some of our CraftFōM balls. These look like they're about our 3-inch ball. So if you went and bought our 3-inch ball and you coat it with Mod Podge, everyone knows what Mod Podge is, right? And you roll it in glitter, and then you wait for it to dry and put the, this could just be, this is actually twisted paper, but it could actually be like cording, Christmas cording. They all have that red and white twist, and you could spiral cording around the balls. They also have strung sequin, so you could spiral sequins around balls. The disc could be our CraftFōM disc. This looks like probably a 6x, you could use like a 6x1 CraftFōM disc. And if you drew in these color swatches, draw them with a pencil maybe first and then go back in. Another good tip is when you're using glitter, like even for these balls, I just said Mod Podge, but if you are, say, okay, we're using red glitter. So if you paint the ball red, the same red as the glitter, and then while the paint is still wet, you roll the ball in glitter. That way, if any of the glitter flakes off, there's still red underneath. You don't see the white ball after the glitter comes off. So it kind of camouflages it a little better. And we all know that glitter does not stay where you put it ever. So yeah, you could absolutely make your own disc, make your own balls. Why couldn't you cut candy canes out of foam? There's really, I mean, endless possibilities with foam. The other thing is, if you can't find the white branches, if you find a branch that you like that looks like this, a pine branch, spray paint it white with any spray paint it white, let it dry, spray on a little bit of like a spray glue of some kind or glitter glue. And you can take our foam. Let me see if I can grab a piece somewhere. Hang on. You can take our foam and you can make your own snow. So if you want snowy branches and you can't find snowy branches, if you take 2 pieces of foam and you do that, you just made your own snow. So after you put the spray glitter on the branch, then you just sprinkle your snow all over and it gives you realistic snow to have on your wreath. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. If you have villages or little Christmas trees or wreaths or garland that you want to add a little snow to, it's kind of a good way to use up your styrofoam, your foam, CraftFōM.
So you just use like a spray glue before you sprinkle that on and it sticks?
Yes. Yep.
We have some really good ideas in the chat here too. One viewer said the cording could be baker's twine or even puffy paint.
Oh, for sure. Puffy paint, that's a little past my, that'd be some intense painting, but yeah, for sure. I love puffy paint. And that gives it has a little shine too. That'd be great. Yeah, and the baker's twine comes in, I don't even know how many colors, so that would be great.
So you had mentioned for the candy canes that you could cut those out of a foam sheet too. Is that correct?
Sure. Yep. And then they could be any size that you want. So if you cut it out of the foam, of course, you're going to have a square edge. And if you want it to have a rounded edge, just like you made your snow, I'll move that so I don't get snow all over it. So you just go like this. And see how that made that all nice and rounded? Probably really can't see on the camera, but it just makes that nice rounded edge. And you do that all the way around and it'll give you your nice candy cane shape. You could do any shape. I mean, shoot, you could put bells on here. You could cut out the shapes of bells. So many options.
Even your like initials would be cool.
What was that?
Either like your initials or like your name, you could cut out of foam and add as well.
Sure. We have a tool, our styro cutter, and it heats up. So you could actually pierce into the foam and, you know, say like the disc, if you wanted to turn it into, like, say, maybe a snowflake, you could etch out little snowflake patterns all inside there with this tool that we have. You'll have to check it out. But
we'll have to do a class with the tool. It's a really cool tool.
It really is. It really is. If you haven't had a chance to play with it, it's kind of addicting, somewhat. Some other ideas for this wreath. I don't really have any add-ins that we could add to it. I mean, lights would actually be fantastic. Imagine all of this stuff lit, all of this glitter and all of the shine lit. You'd have to wear sunglasses.
Oh, the tool she was talking about is called the Clean Cut Foam Cutter. That's available at Michael's.
Clean Cut Foam Cutter. So, let's see this. See this ribbon on here. Let's see what it looks like. So if I was going to do this, I glued the two ends together and then quite a bit of glue across the end. And then to the back. And then I would go in and add a couple pins. And remember what I said, if you rock that pin back and forth, it separates those ribbon fibers and allows that pin to get right in there. It takes a minute. There we go. So that's what it looks like with the hanger on it. All right, so then if you didn't want all this, if you're not one that likes all this craziness and this getting outside, thinking outside the box thinking, you could always take these and bring them up around the wreath on this other side and keep it more symmetrical. More traditional, I guess.
Looks like these materials are very forgiving since they're wired.
They really are. So you could give it a whole nother look. Well, these white guys don't have a wire in them. They're a little unruly. But just by moving these just a little bit, they're all bendable. Just by changing this just a little, we get a little tighter wreath with a little more traditional shape. Just by taking that little end off and moving it over. A little more traditional. So what if you say, hey, I have grapevine wreaths that I use to decorate with. So what would I be able to do with a grapevine wreath, but still be able to put all these big fun pieces on there? Only because we all know that grapevine's not the easiest thing to glue into. Have to use quite a bit of glue. So I'll just show you and this isn't a Christmas wreath, but I just wanted to show you that if you wanted to do this wreath and you had a different form, if you had a wire form or a grapevine form, you can still use our foam. And what you do is you just take a block of our foam, you arrange all these pieces into that block of foam, and then, oh, I'm losing pieces here. This is an old project. Take all these pieces that you would put into this white wreath, and you would just wire this foam block with all your pretties. Right, you have one time to you'll have everything already in it, and all you have to do is secure that foam brick to the grapevine. So it's just so much easier than trying to glue all those pieces in individually. So just kind of a fun tip, just an easy way to arrange onto, like I said, either a grapevine or especially the new the gold rings that you see everywhere that are so thin. They're so hard to glue stuff into that if you, and look, and it's a teeny little brick and you can get quite a bit of florals in there. So it'd be really easy to conceal on one of those metal rings.
That's a great tip, Dondi.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Another thing is, it doesn't have to be a ring either. Like this, I just grabbed to show you guys how easy to take one of our FloraFōM discs. I just painted it black, and all I did was, see that big handle in there? This is all one big mixed greenery stem. And that's all I did, is just stuck the thing on there, pinned it in place. And doesn't that a cute little, like a live wall art? And how easy is that? Everything's already in there. All the plants are already mixed in. And what's great about this is it's super lightweight. So if you have a college dorm or apartment where you can't hang anything or put nails on the wall, this will hang on like a 3M hook. It's super lightweight. So I can probably take this time to sneak peek at our next week class.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, no, not next week. I'm sorry. This one will be December 2nd. December 2nd, it's a Wednesday, and it is at 3 o'clock. They have these awesome snowman hat baskets at Michael's.
Felicia, could you switch to the front view? I think it'd be easier to see versus the top down.
Actually, she's already on the front view.
I think I am, yep. You guys can see the front, yeah? Yeah, they can see. So this is just this cute little basket that I found at Michael's. I found all these florals. There's like 3 bushes in here, and it's all arranged inside one of our FloraFōM cubes is what's inside there. So you'll learn a little bit of floral arranging on December 2nd. So December 9th, we'll be doing this fun winter wreath. And we're calling this a transitional wreath because we are going to show you that once it's kind of nearing towards the end of December and you want to make it just more wintry, we're going to show you a way to take out some of this stuff and add in some new stuff and make it all a whole new wreath, but very simply a whole new wreath. All right, are there any questions? We have a little more time. I don't know what time we got, Jordan.
We have a quick question on the disc project that you showed. What type of paint did you use to paint the foam?
The disc project. Oh, the wall art, the live wall. That's just acrylic, brush on acrylic paint. Yep. Yep. And then one thing too with our new foam is it is a little safer for spray painting. So if you wanted to add a different color to this wreath, maybe paint it red instead of white, I don't know. Spray paint's safe for our foam. The biggest thing is you want to keep that can like 12 inches away from the foam, because what's melting the foam is the propellants in the can. That's what's actually eating the foam. It's not the color of the paint. So if you hold it back that 12 inches and you do one light coat and let that coat dry before you put the second coat on, it'll coat, it won't eat it. Keep it that 12 inches away, and you maybe, you know, if you want a darker color, you might have to put 2-3 coats on there to get your color, but just don't try to hold it real close and get it your dark red right away. It's not gonna work. Just have to be patient.
Connie, can you show your wall art from the front view really quick?
Yes. Yeah, so this is actually one big bush. Let me see if I can see that. See that big handle in there? So I didn't even cut it off the handle. I used the handle to secure it to the disc. And I have in my little entryway over here in the shop, I have 3 of these in a line when you come in. And it's so cute. I mean, this background just goes away against the wall. It just looks shadowed in there. And then all this beautiful, fun greenery. You never have to water it.
My favorite kind of plant.
Yep.
So the 2 classes that Dondi mentioned that are coming up, those will be up on the site here in the next couple of days. You should be able to find them.
Yep.
Do you want to pull the wreath back into the front view real quick too? Take a look at that.
Sure. And then I'll hold the other one up so you can see the difference when I did that little change and made it a little more traditional. Still got a little poofy here and there, but you know. And then I added a hanger to this one also.
That's great.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Are we good on time?
Mm-hmm. So just a reminder that this was recorded. So if you want to go back and see any of the steps that Dondi showed, it'll be live on Michael's website in about 24 hours.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for coming and making it fun with FloraCraft. I hope to see you on the 2nd. And until then, be safe.